So the whole time I've been here so far, I've been photographing wildlife in Grand Teton National Park, but today, I'm returning to Yellowstone.
Not long ago, I heard about a grizzly sow with 2 new cubs of the year up in Yellowstone. So I really just had to leave the Tetons as soon as possible and get up into Yellowstone to look for this sow. Unlike the Tetons, it was still extremely snowy in Yellowstone with feet of snow on the ground. After a long drive north, I found myself in the area where this sow typically hangs out. Only about 15 minutes of waiting later, she appeared. Cubs of the year are not easy to find, let alone photographs, so this was an opportunity I was so excited for. When the sow first appeared, she was only out briefly, so I really got no good photos of her. She ended up moving into the trees and into the rock field above, and we watched her and the cubs high on the rocks for a few hours. But then finally, after a few hours of waiting, she came back down into the meadows. After a couple of epic photo sessions with the sow and her new cubs, I went into Gardner, where I stayed for the night. The next morning, I decided to step away from the bears in search of some other photo opportunities that are really only available in the spring in Yellowstone. One of these being these incredible birds, Harlequin Ducks. Yellowstone is at the southernmost tip of Harlequin Duck Range, and they are only accessible to photograph in the park for a few weeks in May and the start of June before they migrate away. I was really excited to be able to capture the Harlequin Ducks before they migrate away for the summer, and afterwards I started heading north through the park to look for bears again. And speaking of bears, I'm going to be giving away a free trip to Lake Clark National Park in Alaska, where you and I will go and photograph coastal Alaskan brown bears when I hit 10,000 subscribers. All you have to do for a chance to enter is be a subscriber to the channel, and then when I hit 10K, join me in Alaska. But for now, let's go find some more grizzly bears. Soon, I ran into yet another bear jam.
So guys, we got a massive bear jam here, but there's a young grizzly coming this way. Supposedly it's this subadult that they've been seeing over here for a while, and set up, ready. hopefully gonna get some photos of her. This is probably the biggest bear jam I've been at this year. Pretty big one, but looks like there's gonna be some good photo opportunities if she pops out right here in this meadow, where we're hoping she will.
After that, I was tempted to go look for the sow with cubs again. However, I decided not to, because there was one place I just had to go first. A place so rich and full of life, it's often called the American Serengeti. My personal favorite place in Yellowstone, the Lamar Valley. But today, it didn't look quite like this. A spring snowstorm was rolling through, dusting the peaks above the valley floor in white. As I continued deeper into the valley, I found a small herd of bison in the snow. As night fell, I left the park to find somewhere to sleep. After a short rest, I was back in Lamar in the morning. Overnight, frost had formed throughout the entire valley, creating one of the most beautiful scenes I had ever experienced in Yellowstone. A good morning led into an even better day, as snow began to fall once again. A short drive out of Lamar and up towards Dunraven Pass led to an encounter with the sow black bear and 2 cubs of the year. Man, I've just had such great luck with bears so far. And soon after this encounter, my luck also got quite good with wolves. After leaving Tower, I went back into the southern portion of the park. Near dusk, I stumbled upon an active wolf hunt. The wolves tested a small group of bison. Put on chase after a cow elk. In the end, they came up short, and soon after that, night fell in Hayden Valley. However, I knew with how active they had been, there was a good chance they'd be out again in the morning, so I was up and in the park well before sunrise, and just as I had hoped, they were. While the encounter may not have lasted long, and I didn't really get any great photos, it was still so incredible to be so close to these magnificent canines. Bears will always be my favorite, but man, there's just something so special about gray wolves. After this encounter, I thought I'd spin up all my luck for the morning. We drove down the road a few miles, and it became clear that I needed to think again. After eating his fill, the bear walked down the river and eventually crossed, providing some of the most unique grizzly bear photos I've ever gotten. And despite the end of golden hour and the onset of harsh light and a hot day, my luck with bears continued. Not only did I get to watch these bears court, but I was also able to spend a bit of time with one of Yellowstone's more famous bears, a sow known as Snow. Snow is a younger adult bear that many photographers and park visitors have had the pleasure of spending time with. She loves to hang out near the road, making her easy to see. After watching her mate on an elk carcass last year, we were all hoping that she'd come out with cubs this year. Unfortunately, she didn't, but there's always next year. We'll just have to wait and see. After shooting Snow, I decided to spend another day in Lamar Valley. Unfortunately, I didn't get much besides this grizzly sow and her two subadult cubs pretty far off, but it was still a beautiful day in the park. By now, I had been in Yellowstone about a week, and I'd yet to return to that sow with tiny cubs of the year. So to close out this vlog, I decided it was time to go back and look for her one last time. She's a pretty reliable bear when she has cubs. She comes out in the same spots every day, forages for a bit, the cubs put on a show, and then she heads into the forest to bed down, and we all happily review our photos. Seems a little too perfect, right? Maybe, but fortunately for me, that scenario is exactly what happened this late May evening. Overall, it was an epic week in Yellowstone, and I was sure things wouldn't get any more epic. But yet again, Yellowstone shocked me when I woke up the next morning and found a pack of wolves killing a bull elk. But we'll cover that encounter in the next vlog. For now, this vlog covered one of my best weeks ever in the park, and I am so excited to finally be here and to go out shooting more wildlife in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem for the rest of the year.